They say the best camera is the one you have with you, right? So why not just get one you can always have with you? So this is the Kodak Charmera. This thing is basically the simplest little keychain camera ever, but honestly I'm blown away by how much fun I've had with this thing. This is a tiny little toy camera that Kodak released as part of a blind box. So there's 7 different colors or designs that you can get, one of them being a super rare clear version, and the rest are pretty much equal chances to get. And as you can see, I got this red one right here, which is actually one of my favorite colors, so I'm pretty happy I got this design. Okay, so I want to cover the specs of this thing, and then I'm going to go over if I think it's worth picking up, and of course I'm going to show you plenty of photo and video examples. Let's get into it. Alright, so I already mentioned this is just a tiny little plastic keychain camera. So it's like barely over an inch wide. It has a little screen on the back, a couple buttons on the top and back as well, USB-C at the bottom, a little micro SD card slot. There's a little viewfinder as well, but it's literally just a hole through the body, so there's no optics or anything inside of it. And then you get this tiny little LED light in the top corner, which doubles as a flash. And so this little guy has a 1.6 megapixel sensor that shoots JPEG photos. It doesn't shoot RAW photos or anything like that. And the exact resolution is 1440 by 1080, so 1.6 megapixels. It also shoots video in that same resolution. And the lens itself is a 35mm equivalent field of view. So it's kind of like a wider standard angle. It's not super wide, and I kind of do wish, if anything, it was a little bit wider, like 24mm equivalent. But being that standard 35mm field of view, it's essentially perfect for just street photography, walk around photography. You know, you can kind of get away with some selfies and things like that, but it is a little bit of a tight angle for that. You also get 11 built-in filters, most of those being like color filters and black and white filters or pixel filters. And then a couple of those are just like frames or overlays that go over top of it that maybe somebody would find useful. I don't really find myself using most of these besides the black and white one. Maybe like the sepia tone or some of those color filters I could see being useful. And other than that, that's pretty much all you're getting with this little guy. Now, I forgot to mention it only weighs 30 grams. Like, you can barely feel this in your hand. If you put this on your keychain or attach it to your bag or backpack or something, obviously you would never even notice this thing's on there. Like, it just feels like an empty plastic shell, if anything. And I gotta say, the size and weight of this makes it so easy just to carry anywhere with you. I brought this on a trip with me to New York City, and I just stuck it in my pocket, put it in my camera bag, put it in my backpack. I hooked it to things like pretty much wherever it fits, it's gonna go just fine. And it is surprisingly durable. It definitely will get scuffs and scratches all over, and mine definitely has just from tossing it everywhere. I really haven't treated mine the nicest, and all things considered, it's perfect still. Like a couple scuffs and scratches, and that's about it. All right, so when it comes to downsides, there's really only 2 things I have to mention. Number 1, when you record video with the keychain attached, you will not get any sort of usable audio. It doesn't really sound like much in person, but the keychain rattling against this just completely destroys the audio. So just keep that in mind if you want to vlog with this or record any sort of audio with the video. You're definitely going to want to take the keychain off for that. All right, so this is what the video quality looks like, kind of like a vlogging style if this is what you want to do. One thing to mention, you pretty much have to take the keychain off if you're going to record video or like try to talk into the mic, because the shaking of the keychain just completely overpowers the microphone, so you can't really hear anything. So I have the keychain attached, so you can kind of see what the audio sounds like with it. It's probably pretty rough, I guess, as you can probably hear. It's also a little bit breezy right now. There's a little bit of a wind, so you might get a little wind noise as well. I actually don't even know. I think the microphone's on the top of the camera as well, so it's not right in the front or anything. So yeah, really audio quality is not going to be that great, but it's obvious. Also, it doesn't come with a micro SD card, so you're going to want to buy one of those. Like a 32 gig or 64 gig will pretty much get you unlimited photos with this. Like, I can fit well over 100,000 photos on this card, and it's a 32 gigabyte SD card. So for like less than 10 bucks, you can get a micro SD card that'll hold more photos than you'll ever really take with this. All right, lastly, I want to get into my thoughts on the quality, the price, and if this thing's even worth picking up. All right, so in terms of the video and photo quality coming out of this thing, it's obviously a 1.6 megapixel camera. It's very, very low resolution, and that's what you're gonna get out of it. The image quality is gonna be noisy and grainy and muddy and not really the best, and that's what anybody buying this camera should fully expect out of it. This camera is really a great way to lean into that look and just get fun looking photos out of it. You're really attached a lot more with just the moments of the photos you're capturing rather than the image quality itself coming out of this. And I think if you like that look and you want to lean towards that look, this really is a great camera for that. Like I said, I really love just carrying this thing around with me, snapping photos. You know, just wherever I was, I always had this thing with me. And I was always able to just capture the moment. And that is really what this camera is perfect for. Now, lastly, I want to get into the pricing because I think this can really dictate whether this camera is worth buying or not. So if you can get this thing brand new at its retail price, which I know B&H is selling it, they're selling it on their own website as well. I think if you can pick this up for the retail price of around $30, it is 100% worth picking up just to have and just to mess around with. At this point in time, it's kind of hard because it pretty much sells out every time it goes in stock. It's being resold for like close to $100, which I will say for anything more than like $50, I wouldn't recommend picking this up. I don't think it's worth that price. At the end of the day, this is genuinely just a little toy camera. It's meant to be super inexpensive, like $30. I really don't think this is worth all the resale prices that it's going for right now. If you have the patience to keep checking and wait for this thing to restock and get it for 30 bucks, I think this thing is definitely worth that price. And I'll leave the B&H link down in the description if you want to check it out and see if it's back in stock. But that's it for me. I hope this video helped you out, and definitely let me know in the comments if you're planning on picking this up or if you already bought one. And I'll see you in the next video.